Hi, welcome to a new episode of Eckart's Interviews in Isolation. My name is Eckart Preu. I'm the music director of the Cincinnati Chamber Orchestra. Many of you who came to a concert of the Cincinnati Chamber Orchestra 2 years ago, a concert that was dedicated to the red violin, will remember it to this day. I'm happy to be joined today by the owner and virtuoso playing this violin, Elizabeth Pitcairn. Welcome, Elizabeth. It is so great to see you again after 2 years. We in Cincinnati, of course, remember you and you playing the Red Violin Suite by John Coriano. We are all in isolation, of course. Where are you and how has this time been for you?
So I am with my mother in Pennsylvania, and I was going to get on a plane to go for a Florida concert right before this all kind of really came to a head, and some instinct told me not to go because I would have been separated from her and unable to return. So she's been taking great care of me. It's like being a child again, except we're more like best friends now.
And we are looking to stay positive these days. What has been something really, really positive resulting from this period of isolation?
Well, personally, I've been able to reconnect with a lot of people and stay in touch. And I think we've all realized that we need each other through times like this. And so the human element, it gives people sort of a chance to slow down, stop and think about what's really important to them in their lives. I know for me personally, I was running helter-skelter. If I had a free day, I'd say, okay, throw something in it. And it really was kind of taking a toll on my health, which I hadn't realized. But so this has been a chance for me personally to take some time for reflection and a lot of peaceful walks in the countryside, just watching spring come out. I mean, it's kind of like being a rebirth in a way, a lot of inspiration and a little bit of a break from actually playing so much.
And speaking of inspiration, so how important are audiences or scheduled dates for you as inspiration or stimulation to practice? Or do you practice, do you have a daily routine anyway, if you have a concert lined up or not? Or do you actually need that, the pressure of that set date where you have to show up and you have to shine?
Well, there's nothing like pressure to get one working, as you well know. For me, I've enjoyed the release of pressure, and so I've started on project. I've been practicing. I've never actually performed Bach chaconne, believe it or not, but I've been practicing it. I think it's 13 minutes long. I've been practicing it for 13 years, it seems like. And I just rescheduled a concert for November. Hopefully it will take place. One doesn't know, but I'm going to open with this chaconne, and it's also for my father's younger brother. He's a Bach lover, and it's his life dream, and he's in his 80s now, and I want to play it for him. And so it's a chance to kind of work on pieces. I'm developing a solo program with the thought in mind of playing it in cathedrals in Europe, and some Bach, the Coriano unaccompanied caprices for solo violin, which are wonderful, using some of the same movie themes in the suite that we played together in Cincinnati. Some, as I said, Bach, some Paganini caprices, and also a contemporary piece sort of from the 1900s by Richard Yardumian, called Monologue. It's very short. Maybe some Tartini. So kind of a fun, eclectic solo program. One must adapt it. It's kind of interesting when I'm playing the Bach that I'm thinking, Bach composed these solo sonatas and partitas in the year 1720. It happens to be the same year that the violin that I'm holding in my hands is made, and it's a really eerie feeling when I start really thinking about it.
And this year is 2020, so mind blown. 300 years later, we have this disaster happening. So how do you go about practicing? So for instance, the Bach, right, the chaconne. How do you go about it? Do you play through? Do you focus on one little part or one variation? Or how do you go about learning the piece?
So I basically have I get really stuck in the middle. So I try to start with the middle first. And then I always want to end well. So the ending is important. And the beginning. So for me, I start with what is most challenging to me. So I have it broken up into thirds, basically. And also physically, you don't realize I practiced one day and just jumped into it for many hours. Next day, my left hand was in pain. Just like if you went to the gym and overdid it on a workout. So again, with Bach and all those chords, plus it wasn't just the chaconne. I went through the entire Bach book, which was really stupid. But a lot of those pieces I played when I was a kid, right? It was just bringing back all these memories. You remember when you're 10 and you learned, the E major partita preludio or the lesson, and it brings back such vivid memories. Or the B minor in USC in my freshman year with Robert Lipset, and I'm thinking all the techniques he taught me, and I haven't had time to really revisit all that in years and years. So it was kind of a trip down memory lane.
Yeah. So with all the new time available, have you been working on acquiring a new skill, something that you always wanted to do, just never had the time to do?
It's really embarrassing. I never learned to do a hula hoop, but I think it's good for core. So I bought this one on Amazon. Well, it's harder than it looks. But I always have things like that in mind for our playing, for stability. My mom does these online Tai Chi classes. And so I was standing next to her, kind of imitating her, not knowing what I'm doing, but she was doing it on Zoom. And it actually had the effect of relaxing my hips, and I realized how much tension I hold there when I play, and that's why my back was hurting. So that was like a good thing to learn. What else? Oh, we've been watching movies together. One of my favorites is Mae West. She's just so funny and risque, even for her time. Yeah. And I like to kind of combine some of that comedy aspect with music. And Judy Garland, who's just, to me, like the high bits of the voice. She's and a lot of old classics, some Hitchcock and a lot of Western series. My mother's really into Westerns. So
yeah, no, actually the old gunslinger movies do it for me too these days, because I don't know why. It's like strange.
Okay, then I could admit that I've already watched 40 episodes of Rifleman. So.
Now, so you're staying with your mother. Are you the cook in the house, or do you kind of get to just relax and your mom does all the cooking and you sit there and watch it?
She does all the cooking. She does all the cooking.
So you can't
we
cook.
Go to no, I wouldn't say that. I can sort of cook by osmosis, sort of like being around her. So trust me, I it's not that bad. Do you cook?
Minimal cooking, utility cooking. So
okay.
Just to not die.
I don't know what you would think of the diet we eat, but it has a lot of macrobiotic influence, which is a lot of seaweed. So I guess you could say one could die just from eating brown rice and seaweed. She cooks a lot of turnips and rutabagas and kale and any kind of green that comes off a vegetable, like a radish top or a carrot top. So I'm like turning yellow from the beta carotene.
It sounds very healthy somehow. It's good. Yeah.
She cured my father of his leukemia in his 50s eating this diet. So no dairy, hardly any sugar. So I'm trying to be healthy. And I haven't had any alcohol for a long time in quarantine, which, in our social lifestyles, it's always a glass of wine here and there. But it feels good just to really be healthy for a while. So no planes, no late dinners, no late night partying. I mean, so I feel my health returning. I think I've heard that a lot of other touring artists are actually also experiencing this too, because they've been You just can't, you get into a pattern where you can't stop, and you just take on more and more, and somebody calls and you look through your schedule to fit something in, and it's like a downward spiral, and none of us have had a break for so long.
Assuming that we will start back up maybe in the fall, maybe later, who knows? Do you have any exciting future projects that you'd like to share?
So I'm working on a project with my summer music camp, and today there's actually bulldozers rolling into the campus, and so we hired an excavating team, and I wish I could be there to see it. I'm just dying because everyone is so excited about getting the new cabins, and to have them come in and remove everything. It's like you're really blowing up the bridge behind you, because we've got to do this now. We don't have facilities, but all the signs are pointing that it's the right thing to do. And we would open 2021 with new cabins. So pretty soon I'll have like a GoFundMe set up. Our video we made to showcase the camp. And so this is, I don't know, it's a full-time project for me, really.
It sounds very exciting. I was a little bit worried when you started, and the bulldozers are coming in, but there's something after the bulldozers, which is really important. Yeah. So. Yeah. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for talking with me. Appreciate it. Stay safe, and I hope to see you soon.
You too, Eckart.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Luzerne Music Center sits on 20 wooded acres on the gorgeous shores of pristine Lake Luzerne, New York. Every summer, more than 150 musicians ages 9 to 18 travel from around the world to study with world-class professional musicians.
This setting is unique in the manner that it is a true atmosphere of a summer camp.
It's like a good split in the day where you get to practice and focus on music, but mainly throughout the day you're always surrounded by it, which is really nice. Being able to have fun with your friends and still incorporate music throughout your day.
People really take music seriously, and people practice, and it's fun to be with people who have the same interests as you.
Children come to camp from 17 different countries, a trend that has been growing since Luzerne Music Center was founded in 1980.
We have a bunch of different forms of music, so we get to dabble in different things, if you will, I guess, which is really great. So we get to take away different styles of music, different numbers of musicians playing together, so there's a lot of variety in what we play.
What hasn't changed is Luzerne Music Center's commitment to an exceptional musical experience. Students here receive master classes with members of the Philadelphia Orchestra. Also unchanged are the camp facilities.
As you can see by looking around at the cabins that we have, these date back 75 years or more. They're built with no foundations on the ground. They're crumbling to the point you can't even drive a nail into the boards anymore to make repairs. And a lot of the students come with quite valuable instruments that they need to protect.
Over the past decade, Luzerne Music Center has been developing the 2020 campaign, a two-step plan to replace its aging buildings. The new student and faculty cabins come equipped with student and counselor bathrooms, air conditioning, 8 bunk beds, fans, lights, and mattresses, ready to be installed on concrete piers and tied into camp infrastructure. Prototypes were recently brought to campus.
Once the cabins were placed, the students came over. They were stunned, in awe, amazed, overjoyed.
As my parents used to say when I was growing up, you have to have a strong foundation. And I think when they go to sleep at night, if they feel comfortable, then they're able to do even more during the day.
Together, we can update Luzerne Music Center's facilities. Naming rights for each cabin are offered to anyone interested in purchasing one for the 2020 campaign.
There's so many people here, and all that people is here because of music. That's an amazing opportunity, and we have so much to learn, not only about music, about life and other cultures.
What we have here is a world-class camp in terms of the quality of the students, the quality of the instruction, the program, but our facilities are what are holding us back from being an internationally known music camp. And that really needs to come up to match the level of what we're doing here. The well-rounded experience of what we offer, I believe, is one of the finest music programs in the world. It's a unique experience that they may never have a chance to have again.
Please join us in building young musicians and audiences of the future. With your help, we can continue to inspire, create exceptional music, and transform lives at Luzerne Music Center.